So here's the inside scoop, guys, of the bullshit wedding. Jason Alexander. What's up? You love roses? Who are you?
What's up, Michael?
Mike, put your hands on me. Don't put your hands on me. Please don't put your hands on me.
You have to leave.
Hey, where's Britney?
Welcome to another brand new episode of the Kris Avalon Show.
Unfiltered.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of Kris Avalon Unfiltered. I am your hostess with the mostest, Kris Avalon, and yes, for the next 2 hours, we're going to be covering everything that's going on in pop culture and hot topics, as well as some LGBT news. We got a lot of tea to get to, so it's an action-packed show. Ciao. We got some tea on Saucy, Santana, and the Beehive coming after her over some comments that he made about Blue Ivy. Ciao. He got a lot of explaining to do on that. Some tweets resurfaced. It's breaking news all day today. So we're gonna get I'm gonna get my thoughts on that. Also, I got some tea on Jennifer Lopez and this whole comment that she made about the Super Bowl halftime because her documentary from Netflix comes out next week. We also got some tea on Neve Campbell in Scream 6. I'm gonna give my comments on that. Amanda Seales feeling like she was pretty much looked over for being on The Real for 5 minutes. We're going to talk about Julia Garner getting mixed thoughts from the fans over being chosen to play Madonna in the upcoming biopic. We're also going to talk about Kylie Minogue opening up for the first time about her thoughts on the whole Kylie Jenner lawsuit that she had when Miss Thing thought she was slick, was going to trademark that damn name. Lori Harvey and Michael B. Jordan and their relationship. Zeus Network sending a cease and desist to Milan because he can't come up with a good idea outside of that Bad Boys tagline. And then, of course, we're going to talk about Britney Spears and this whole marriage, and what you also saw in the beginning, where her ex-husband of 5 seconds, Jason Alexander, decided to crash the wedding. Child, I felt like I was watching Dynasty, The Young and the Restless, General Hospital. They done revived All My Children and One Night to Live. I felt like I was just watching all that for this whole trailer park wedding. And we got that and a whole lot more. But before we get into our main topics, I got to let y'all know a little something. Okay, so I got some reviews on some things. So I want to talk about the new Queer as Folk series, which this is first series so far. So it's called season 1. All the 8 episodes up on the Peacock network. And I'm also going to talk about that in a second, my thoughts on that. But first, I want to talk about Jurassic World Dominion. I sincerely hope that after this movie, that y'all will not make another fucking movie about dinosaurs. Can we stop, please? Can we put this shit out the pasture, not pastor. Pastor, somebody who does, the whole sermon shit that y'all see up in these fake ass churches that be up in here scamming y'all for y'all money. Y'all too stupid enough to give it to them in them collection plates, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, we need to stop making these movies. Chris Pratt, while you have a great looking ass on the big screen and in the IMAX, it does look good in them tight ass jeans you was wearing. That ain't enough to get me to watch the movie. And plus, you've been problematic in a lot of shit that you've been doing anyway in regards to your religious beliefs. Some of the things you said about Anna Faris and that son you had with her versus the 2 kids that you now have with Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter. But besides that, the script was a piece of shit. A lot of the stuff that y'all were trying to cover, the scientific mumbo jumbo made absolutely no sense. I was not buying it. A lot of the dialogue was terrible. I hated the fact that y'all brought legacy characters back and wasted them. I love Laura Dern. I love Sam Neill. And I definitely love Ian Malcolm himself, Jeff Goldblum, and y'all bringing them into this film after I loved them so much in the original Jurassic Park, and y'all just basically pretty much just wasted their asses in this film. I know y'all were trying to give them a little something, and I like the closure that we had with Sam Neill and Laura Dern's characters that we didn't get from the original movie, because I always wanted them to get together. I always felt like there was that chemistry was there, and it was good to see like they finally got their comeuppance in that way of like rekindling a tension that was there, a romantic tension that was there, but they never followed through on. But other than that, I just felt like the story was convoluted. A lot of the characters were wasted. Y'all tried it with the Steve Jobs-esque character who was doing all these bioengineering on dinosaurs, and y'all trying to feed me this bullshit about dinosaurs and humans need to coexist. No, the fuck we don't. First of all, they're extinct for a goddamn reason. There should be no reason why you trying to bring dinosaurs and having them mingle with us. I won't mingle with no damn Tyrannosaurus Rex or no Velociraptor. Or I got to worry about getting eaten if I look at it. And child, I saw so much of this in this movie. I thought Chris Pratt was giving the dinosaurs white power. Like, why am I this? Like, I don't buy that. Like, y'all doing this throughout the whole fucking movie. That's supposed to calm the dinosaur. You try doing that shit to a goddamn lion. See how long your hand lasts on that motherfucker's face. It gonna eat that shit. So overall, I'm sure you could tell I hated the movie, but nevertheless, it was entertaining. Some of the action sequences were pretty interesting, but I felt like y'all were recycling old stories. Y'all were trying to mash up 2 storylines in one, and it just felt like 2 different movies. So I say wait for it to pop up on HBO Max and one of them damn streaming services. Don't waste your money going to see this shit. Now, on another note, let's talk about Queer as Folk. So they finally released the new show after, it was supposed to go on Bravo. The child, I had to laugh at that foolishness. You really thought they was going to get away with some of the stuff they was going to get away with on the network that Andy Cohen loves, boasting about them tight-ass housewives? It wouldn't have worked over there. So, here's the thing. Because I saw Queer Tea, they tried to do a whole, there was some things that were problematic with the whole original Queer as Folk. And I'm like, first of all, the show came out like almost 20-some plus years ago. Like, it came out in 2000. Where are we in 2022? 22 years ago, the original show premiered in December on Showtime. I remember it like it was yesterday. But here's the thing. So there's this character, his name is Brody, who was adopted, by Brenda and Sterling, who comes home to New Orleans. Apparently because he dropped out of medical school. He was going to go be a doctor. Second and third realized that's not what he wanted to do. So he came home. He's trying to get back into the way things were, but apparently they're not. So he's trying to get back with his ex, I guess Noah, played by Johnny Sibley, who y'all know from Hacks and Pose and so many other shows. But then we find out that Noah has an addiction. Like, he's a full-on Methodist, and she's also a full-time bottom, because she was getting her back, because when they was in a relationship together, he was a top, which, I don't know how you bought that, because Noah was giving me full-on Nelly bottom throughout the whole show. That's another story for another time. Or maybe not, because I don't know if I'll be talking about the show ever again. So for the most part, it's like he comes home, his best friend, I guess, is now hooking up with his ex, his best friend, Daddius, who... Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, maybe y'all should not be listening to this review, but, all episodes up. But in the pilot, they have a Pulse-esque type massacre shooting where a couple of people end up injured and dead. That's where he comes across Mingus, who is this underage Justin Taylor type character who is non-binary and wants to do drag. So he does like a performance of Fairuza Balk's character, who is my favorite character, by the way, from The Craft. And there's this whole thing that they worked out, and I like the character. And and then I also read an article that Bussy, the drag queen, the big black drag queen that was up there, was based on Chi Chi DeVane. May she rest in peace. Because it would have been cute if she was still alive, if she would have actually been offered the role, and we could have seen her performing that. So you get all these different characters. We also have Julian, who is Brody's brother, who has cerebral palsy. Y'all know him from, I don't remember his actual name, but he's from a show that was on Netflix for 2 seasons called Special, which I actually love that show. Quite frankly, Special is a way better show than Chris. But we'll get into my issues with this show as I tell y'all about the characters. So then we have, because I gotta look over my notes, excuse me. So now we have, we already talked about Noah and Daddy as a Brody. So we have Ruthie, who's a trans woman whose partner Cher, who is non-binary, is giving birth to twins on the show. So, but Ruthie goes and lies that she got to go pick up some paperwork at the school that she teaches at, who also she turns out to be Mingus's teacher, high school teacher. Which I was looking at and like, y'all could have made the Mingus character like a freshman in college. That would have been way more believable because he wasn't giving me high school. Like, y'all, I'm tired of the industry hiring 25-year-olds or 21-year-olds or 22-year-olds who clearly look that age. And y'all, I'm supposed to believe y'all are in high school? Okay, niece. So he's 17. He sneaks into, Babylon through the back way with this other character that's on the show. I forgot his name, but he has no legs. He's in a wheelchair. So I do like okay. I don't want to sit and have to I feel like I will spend way too long on trying to introduce all these characters. For the most part, I will say this: compared to the original show, I'm glad that this series tackles the one thing that a lot of people complain about with the original series, which was diversity. But to be fair, on the original show, people need to realize where we were in 2000 versus where we are in 2022. Now, in 2000, wasn't a lot of roles for LGBTQ people to be out here trying to fight for. Number two, a lot of actors were in the closet and weren't willing to put their lives on the line out of risk of never being able to work in Hollywood. There was always that threat looming. Still is. There are a lot of actors, some of y'all faves, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to out them, but will not take on a gay role because of the fear of still being outed in 2022. Like, we've come so far in so many ways. And I have a story later on that's going to explain this because in the LGBT portion of the show, there was a story with, Billy Eichner, where he talks about bros and how the industry on the surface, inclusive and all that other good stuff, so they say, but beneath the surface, they're a bit homophobic. And I'm going to read all that to you. So y'all, so that way y'all get a better context of the situation. So I know everybody's so happy that with this show, every box has been, and that's what I said about that trailer a couple of weeks ago, but like, y'all trying to check every diversity box under the sun, which is great. That's amazing if we could do that. However, y'all trying to bunch too much up in one show with all these different characters and they're not fully fleshed out where we could enjoy them. The one thing I loved about the original series was the camaraderie amongst friends. And also the characters were way more than just their gender identity and their sexual orientation. I feel like this show focused too much on, yeah, we're gay and we're non-binary and we're trans and we're a lesbian and we're this and we're that. Like, and that's always kind of been my bitch because I'm a lot older, where it's like, I'm of the 90s and the 2000s. Like, I was more or less old enough to go to the nightlife scene in the 2000s. Some of the era of like the Britneys and the Justin Timberlakes and, those and that whole era. And the Beyoncés and the Kelly Rowlands. Like, that's my generation. Whereas now it's like, yeah, y'all, there's a lot more openings and opportunities and stuff within the community, and the community has expanded so much, but I did feel like it still felt a little closed off, where it's like it wasn't like explosive and expansive. So, and then of course, there was the whole thing of let's use tragedy to try to triumph. And we don't all live in tragedy. We don't all live in depressive moments. And I do love the fact that this show tackles diversity and gun violence. I'm glad that we do that because I've said it so many times. Even with the whole thing that happened in Uvalde, and sidebar, I'm glad that the families of the shooting are going after the family of that kid who did all the killing. And they didn't do that over in Buffalo too, because maybe that'll learn the government. If you go after the family, oh, you gonna take my baby? I'm gonna take y'all off for whatever money you got. I'm gonna bankrupt your ass if you got any. But so I thoroughly I like the idea of tackling that story, because when you deal with trauma, how do people deal with trauma after they've been affected by it? So you've been shot. How do you deal with the PTSD and the depression and the anxiety? And every time you hear a popping noise, you think of somebody shooting you. It could be a firecracker. It could be anything. It could be somebody dropping us on the floor. I'm gonna hit the floor. So it's like we don't properly, like to put a Band-Aid on, sending thoughts and prayers and Jesus and taking shit out of schools. We could blame it on all this other stuff, but we don't deal with the overall, how do people outside of those who died deal with the trauma? How do survivors deal with trauma? And so I like the idea that this show tackled that. But I feel like trauma shouldn't be the only springboard for how we as a people, especially within the LGBTQ plus community, deal with situations. So, and I think because I'm from the generation, that's all we dealt with. It was like in the 90s, it was about AIDS. So we dealing with trauma from the AIDS crisis, or you're dealing with coming of age stories where you're dealing with coming to terms with being gay or being gay bashed or it's always some traumatic moment. And it's like, there's so much more to us than just the fact that I suck dick. Like, I do more than just putting a dick in my mouth and putting my dick up somebody's ass. There's more to me than that. So that's what I wanted from this show. And, there's a lot of things, like, to me, I loved, this show is for, I feel like, okay, it was a cute watch, but I feel like it's more for this new generation. Y'all can enjoy that. Y'all can have that. For me, I feel like I can relate more to Fire Island, which came out last week on Hulu. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. And I can relate more to, I'm looking forward to seeing Bros when that comes out in September. So it's like where people who really truly understand the culture and like exploring that, to me, I feel like, and also I feel like I would probably enjoy this show so much more if it wasn't called Queer as Folk. It was called something else. But I understand in this industry, y'all have to be so, it's always about an existing IP and trying to expand on that. So it's like, oh yeah, well, people know Queer as Folk, but we're going to create these whole new characters. But in so many ways, when I was watching the show, y'all took a lot of stuff from the original series, where you have Brody and Mingus are similar to Brian and Justin, except when you saw Brian doing stuff that would allude to him being selfish, it was more fleshed out. With this show, I didn't feel like certain things were warranted with that. I'm like, where's Brody being selfish in this particular sequence? I don't see it. Like, it just didn't. A lot of certain things in the show just didn't work for me in regards of the writing and all that other stuff. Maybe more episodes would have helped to flesh out people more, but 8 episodes, it's kind of like my bitch when I talk about a lot of the shows that be on Disney Plus. Y'all thinking y'all can get things done in 6 episodes. It kind of irritated me when they did it with oh my God, the Moon Knight. I was upset with that series. Like, I was really rooting for that show, and it pissed me off. We all spent 6 episodes. You spent 5 of the episodes. He ain't even come to terms with who the fuck he was. We would see elements and stuff in it. In episode 5, when he was in the mental hospital, that was everything. Or when he was between worlds of like life and death, that got me. But for the most part, it was like him coming to the terms of his superpowers. It took y'all to get to the final episode to get to that point. Same thing with Hawkeye. I was disappointed with that. So it's like, maybe y'all need more episodes to flesh that thing out. But for the most part, it's okay. But like I said, there's so many other things out here that really, like, let's not always try to throw our diversity in one thing we just need to, I feel like we're at a place now, we're at a renaissance where more queer content is being greenlit and we could tell a lot of those stories, particularly of people of color. So I would have liked for it to have been just a contained show where we focus on a specific group of people instead of just trying to correct everything that the original series did not do, which was be more diverse. And then Pulse happened way after Queer as Folk was done. So I could understand them trying to go there with that. But then they also did do a similar thing at Babylon on the final season of the original Queer as Folk, where there was a bomb that went off and people were injured and people died and that sort of thing. So that was when Cyndi Lauper performed her song Shine, I remember. So there was a lot, there was similarities with that too. And then I've noticed like with the character Belly and Lindsay, similar to Sharon and Ruthie, except Ruthie's trans and Cher is non-binary, who gave birth to twins, where the sperm came from Brody, just like the sperm came from Brian when he got Lindsay pregnant. So if they didn't contain themselves to the original show, but y'all just basically just trying to course correct with the diversity, it would have been a much better thing. But it is what it is. The show's out there, and people feel like if you criticize the show, you're anti this or you're anti. No, it's perfectly okay to not like shit and criticize it for what it is. Just like y'all probably not gonna like the opinion I'm gonna say when we talk about Saucy, Santana, and Beyonce. But that's what we're here for. I'm not here to kiss nobody's ass or to give y'all the kids table PG, PC answer to what y'all want to hear because people are afraid of backlash. It's my damn show. Okay, so moving right along. Now that we moved on from that, let's talk about NENE leaks going in on Bravo TV, honey. So shout out to Jasmine Brand for this story. So it looks like NENE isn't backing down from her claims against Bravo and Andy Cohen. I had no idea that she and Andy were the same age. They're both 54. So she's out here. I saw recently that she alluded to wait, hold on, because this is not the up. Anyway, so she alluded. Why is it freezing on Justin Bieber's paralysis on his face? Oh, I shouldn't laugh at that. But I mean, I'm not laughing at that. No shade. But she said, "Isn't it amazing how one network person can have an issue with you and have network not work with you?"
In the world. I'm already out here a husband stiller, and this is too bad. And ain't nobody out here stealing husbands. I would never.
There's too many going around, honey.
A lot of.
That was her responding about the story that we did in regards of her accusing of stealing that that lady husband, and how she's suing her because apparently in North Carolina you could sue people for sleeping with your husband or not closing your legs to somebody else's partner. People
in the building last night. I don't think it's nobody want to steal his problems, and girl, you heard okay. Nobody want to steal nobody else's problems, honey.
Yo, she killed me when she would do them facial expressions. But anyway, so on June 5th, she took to Twitter and fired off another accusation seemingly aimed at her former boss, Andrew Cohen, and TV network home Bravo. Here's what she wrote. She said, "Isn't it amazing how one network person can have an issue with you and have every network not work with you? Let's talk about it." Remember that was the song that for the Queen Latifah show? I don't know why that popped in my head, but let's move on. Now, NENE has also changed the bios of both her Twitter account and Instagram to say that she was blacklisted for telling the truth and not wanting to be abused anymore. And she keeps talking about receipts. So I don't know what the receipts are, but maybe she's going to present them in court. You don't need to show your whole hand when you got a lawsuit. Now, in addition to that, the TV star also addressed the situation in the IG comments and said the following. It said, "The thing about a racist, they do not want to be called the racist. One thing about an undercover racist, they do not want to be exposed. One thing about me, I don't tell lies. I just keep it real too much. Am learning to do different though." Now, she has been pretty vocal about her issues with Andy, but I do find it weird that she at one point talked about how she wanted to go back to the Real Housewives. And I'm like, After all the shit you said, now you want to go back? Like, where they do that at? Because I wouldn't go if I was her. I'd be like, no, I mean, y'all did me dirty. And for the most part, it's like, I'm going to be consistent with what I said. Because, I'm allowed to change my mind. But do I believe that there was some racist undercutting things that goes on at Bravo and some problematic shit? Yes, I do believe it. But I feel like in so many ways, like if NENE says she got a case, I'm ready to hear it. I'm ready for her to put it out there. But this is a case of right message, wrong messenger. Like NENE has colluded and put up with and tolerated and looked the other way when there was a lot of shit going on the show because she benefited from it financially. And now that she no longer is a part of the whole Bravo situation, now she wants to come out and cry that she's been treated a certain way. But you go ahead, Monique, number 2. You do you. Now, in regards to that, also, Kim Zolciak, she accused Bravo of looking the other way while she said some racist things and this, that, and the other. But the tea was, see, this is what also bothers me about this, is like, NENE, you was hating her one minute, you was friends with her another minute, then y'all maked up the breakup, and vice versa. But now Kim's the problem again. So I can't with y'all two, because y'all two y'all both wear me out. But now Kim is responding to NENE's Bravo lawsuit. And I believe that she owns the nightcap with Carlos King. He messy, so he gonna get what needs to be getting out of the whole situation. And she says, NENE knows what she's saying is not true in regards to me. This is what Kim said in a clip from the episode, which came out on Thursday. She said, that's ridiculous, and she knows it. I'll deal with her when she's done with them. You can't say things that aren't true and try to defame somebody. So I think that after this all is said and done, and when she's done with her whole situation, because they're 10 years apart in age, I think NENE is going to get a defamation lawsuit filed at her from Kim. And sidebar, congratulations to you, Kim, because she's pregnant with baby number 7. This girl out here popping. Well, she trying to compete with Kiki Wyatt and the other one, Nick Cannon, who, sidebar, he said, and speaking of we in sidebar, we doing sidebar right here. But he said he had no idea he was well endowed. All right, niece. I can see why you're getting all these damn laying alone and spreading it wide and getting all these girls pregnant. But sometimes not a lot of people are aware of their endowments and stuff, unless people tell them. Like, I'm about to go there. I've had people tell me about my endowments. That's all I'll say on that. But I'm like, sometimes you don't know. Like, different times I'll be looking at stuff and I'll be like, I don't think my penis is as big as some people's, or comparing and this and that. But I'm like, the bottoms love it, so I'm not complaining. That's all I'll say. But for the most part, NENE and Kim have a long history. Like I said, they've made up to break up, and there's always been a back and forth with them. So it's hard for me to even keep track of how these girls are feeling about each other, depending on the day. So, but if Miss Kim said that she got something for that ass, I'm gonna just sit back with my popcorn and just be insane by it. We'll see how far Lenithia gets with her case against Bravo, and we'll see where Kim goes with her lawsuit. So that's all I'll say on that. Now, our next topic from we're talking about Miss Kim. Let's talk about Scream. Oh wait, no, we're going to talk about Jennifer Lopez. My bad. So Jennifer Lopez recently did. Well, she didn't do anything. So next week, her documentary Halftime comes out on Netflix. But it premiered last Wednesday on the 8th. Speaking of which, I forgot, before I forget, happy Fire Island Bear weekend, because I know all the bears are out on Fire Island. They're about to crown their newest Fire Island bear. We're going to get to this in a second. Also, Puerto Rican Day Parade is tomorrow. There's a lot going on in the city. There's a lot of fairs going on, a lot of festivals, a lot of, I was just out in the city earlier when I went to go see Jurassic, where I was walking around on Times Square. There's a lot of stuff going on in Manhattan. So if y'all got the opportunity, go out and support a lot of these fairs. Get y'all some good food, because the people out there trying to make their money, don't go to these flagships. Don't do the chick. First of all, I'm looking at all you faggots that be out there supporting Chick-fil-A and eating that shit, and they don't even like y'all. They don't like none of us. They don't like the LGBTQ community. Don't be going to all these other little flagship food spots. Go out and support these mom and pop people who are working the fairs and all this other stuff. The flagships make enough fucking money. So, yeah, what else? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, there's File and Bear. I know there a lot of my friends are out there this weekend. Shout out to DJ Ted. Shout out to all the girls that's out there. I wish I could be out there this weekend and support y'all, but bitch is busy. Make it next year, though. I heard next week is Folsom Street East. I'm probably going to that. But anyway, let's get back to the show. So in her new documentary, Halftime, which premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival this past Wednesday, a clip they showed Jennifer Lopez, who's 52, feuding with the NFL about her 2020 halftime performance. J-Lo famously took the stage at the Super Bowl event, if you remember, co-headlining with Latina electropop singer. She really an electropop singer. She does a lot of type of music. She's a global superstar. That electropop name, I love you to Jasmine Brand, but no, that's not it. Shakira looks good at 45 too. Sidebar. I love to reference Sidebar a lot if you notice. According to reports, at one point in the doc shows a frustrated J-Lo speaking with NFL reps about the timing of a performance, acknowledging that she'll have to surrender some of her time to allow her co-headliner Shakira's routine. She stated the following: "This was the worst idea in the world." Reports state that Jenny from the Block wasn't thrilled about sharing the stage that usually only has one single headliner. J-Lo reached out to Shakira, attempting to make the most of the situation by saying, "We can bring everybody together in this moment." The two singers reportedly shared some tension during rehearsals, but ultimately kept everything professional afterwards. J-Lo's manager, Benny Medina, because he ain't repping nobody damn else, reportedly gave his thoughts on the matter, stating the NFL insulted the Waiting for Tonight artist. He stated, "It was an insult to think that you needed two Latinas to do the job that one artist historically has done." Well, that's true in some points, but you know what? Before we get to my opinion, people went in on her over them comments. I'm going to read y'all some of those. Please hold. Okay, so Hourly Rollins wrote or tweeted, "She's right. Shakira should have done it alone." My Million Moods over on Twitter wrote, "This is just so ridiculous. Shakira is the biggest star. Jennifer just doesn't show this or pretends not to. Bigger names have shared the stage and don't act as if someone owes them something. Please." Another person, the Affinity Mag wrote, Affinity Magazine, "Shakira and J-Lo's Facebook headliners ahead of Super Bowl halftime show are interesting." So I guess they were showing like the photos of them looking like they were pissed off. And then bringing this up now, one Twitter user wrote, "I remember when she posted a promo poster with her alone, while Shakira posted the one with both of them. The energy was clear from the beginning." And some came to J-Lo's defense, arguing that she was well within her rights to request more stage time, not just for her sake, but for Shakira too. I'm no J-Lo apologist, but in the film, she says she was unhappy that the NFL booked two official headliners, but made them split the 13-minute time slot that's usually allotted to one act. "I've seen the doc multiple times, and there is no Shakira slander." Well, I have to say that I didn't get any slander from this either. I understood that, here's the thing. Yes, there are people that have shared the stage. Madonna has not shared the stage, but she did have people come out. She had MIA, she had LMFAO, and wasn't somebody else? I can't remember. But I could have sworn it was like 3 people that was up there with her during that performance. Also, Lady Gaga didn't have any guest performances, I don't think. She did that by herself. Beyonce did the halftime by herself. this recent halftime we just had a couple of months ago was a full ensemble. You had Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Eminem, 50 Cent, and Mary J. Blige. So that was an ensemble. And I was kind of upset that, Mary did like, what, 2 or 3 songs? We had to move on. So they fit a lot in that 13 to 15 minutes. I do agree they should have made the segment maybe 20 minutes. But them coming together, I know some people's like Jennifer Lopez is not the biggest star, that Shakira's the biggest star. Jennifer Lopez is the biggest star here. Yes, Shakira was trying to get her do the whole English language thing, but quite honestly, I preferred Shakira's Spanish music over her English stuff. I didn't like a lot of the English language translation that she was doing with the same music. If anybody deserved they just do is Gloria Estefan, but y'all still overlook her industry. And I do kind of get that frustration that maybe the industry thought that Jennifer Lopez couldn't handle doing a show by herself. And then you look at award shows, they always do like a medley of hits and they get a short amount of time. So when I look at it, it's like, if Jennifer Lopez was unhappy with the way things were, and I heard that she was paid $13 million, not by the NFL. The NFL basically comes in and you know, they put their money goes into the stage setup, paying for all that stuff, that all the extravaganza that y'all got to see from the show. They pay for that, but you don't get paid by the NFL or halftime and any of that stuff. I guess Jay-Z and Live Nation them paid her that money. She ain't say no to that $13, but you was $13 million. Sorry, but you was bitching about the amount of screen time you got. I don't give a fuck how much time I got. If you're gonna give me six minutes, we're gonna make this 6 minutes epic. That's what a true professional does. We're gonna make it work. Regardless. That's what a true professional does. So you getting frustrated over the fact that I'm not getting enough time and people not respecting me. If you felt that way, you could have said no. But she felt that if she said no, there would never be another opportunity to come around for her like this ever again. Just like in the documentary, she shows her frustration for not getting nominated for an Oscar for playing a stripper. They didn't see you for you, niece. And if that's the reason why you get in this industry to just win awards and get accolades and this, that, and the other, girl, just be happy with your fucking Moon Man or popcorn that you just got at the movie and TV award. That shit nobody watches over at MTV, and just move on. Like, I don't understand a lot of these people that it's like a lot of y'all get into this industry for the accolades and for this and for that. When it's like, that shouldn't be the whole goal of you getting in this business. I think that's also going to be the critique about Lil Nas X. I know some people say that too about Lil Nas X at the BET Awards, but it goes deeper than that. When I talk about Lil Nas and BET Awards, which I'm going to talk about during the LGBT segment. So we're going to press pause on that. So this is a similar, but apples and oranges in some sort of way. So, Hennifer, stop your bitching and just continue to do you. So yeah, Shakira is more of a global superstar. You know, people like her. She's more loved overseas. And I know she's going through it with that baby father of hers who was out here cheating while she was out here making her money. That's a whole nother conversation. So let's talk about our number 8 topic, which is Neve Campbell and Scream 6. This article was written by yours truly, by the way. I'm referencing me. Over on tribe.com, soon to be KrisAvalon.com when I get my domain name and everything back up and running, which is going to be soon. So less than 24 hours, and this was when I wrote this on the 6th. After rumors began to swirl in regards to Neve Campbell's future with the Scream franchise, the Scream Queen has announced that she will not be reprising her role as the iconic Sidney Prescott in Scream 6, which started filming today. Actually, I heard that it's been moved. It's been postponed until the 9th, which was Thursday. Because word on the curve was they were trying to negotiate because the fans was upset over her not being in this film, and they were renegotiating to get her to come on board. And this is what the actress told Deadline. Sadly, I won't be making the next Scream film. The actress continues, as a woman, I have had to work extremely hard in my career to establish my value, especially when it comes to Scream. I felt the offer that was presented to me did not equate to the value I have brought to the franchise. It has been a very difficult decision to move on to all my Scream fans. I love you. You've always been so incredibly supportive to me. I'm forever grateful to you, and I want this franchise and what this franchise has given me over the past 25 years. So y'all should know that, you know, the last Scream movie that came out earlier this year cost $25 billion to make and brought in $140 billion at the box office. I also wrote how much has it's so far the franchise in total for 25 years been out. $740 million they have made from this franchise. Now the question remains: is Neve Campbell's gripe warranted? Yes, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because there is no Scream without Sidney Prescott. Like, she has literally held up these films for the past 5 sequels. And while she basically had a smaller role because they were busy trying to pass over the torch, from what I heard, they was offering Hayden Panettiere more money because she was a Easter egg in the last movie, but now they're bringing her back from, in this movie because she was in Scream 4 and she was stabbed, but she was left for dead. Apparently she wasn't murdered in that film. But they're bringing her back and they're trying to pass the torch, which I do agree with. Let's try to pass this torch and tell newer stories. But when you've had these legacy characters a part of the franchise for so long, it's hard to kind of move the franchise forward. And I've had conversations where people were like, well, how she thinks she could order around and try to get this kind of money when she really hasn't had the big career. Like, she hasn't been able. I'm like, that has nothing to do with anything. The horror genre is completely different than how a lot of people look at shit when it comes to the box office. Perfect example, Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis will always be a part of the Halloween franchise and being Laurie Strode. She's gone on to do millions of other movies. A lot of them hits, a lot of them not. She's recently in Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is the biggest hit for A24. Jamie Lee Curtis is in that. But to the fans, she will always be the iconic Scream Queen of the Halloween films. She's always going to be a part of that. So her being a part of that family and the whole Michael Myers and that whole story, she's forever attached to it. And that's kind of what they've done with this franchise. Yes, Jenna Ortega is going to be this generation's Scream Queen with all the horror movies she's starring in. She's about to be in the new Wednesday TV series. She was just in the movie X with Kid Cudi. She was in the recent Scream movie, about to be in the new one. So she is kind of on the way to being this generation's Scream Queen. And we need those. Every generation needs their Scream Queen. Mine was Neve Campbell because I'm of that whole 90s generation. I love the original Halloween, but that shit came out in the 70s. So I was like a fetus, an embryo when that movie came out. But so yeah, there's that. So yes, she's worth the money that you offer because she is synonymous with that franchise. And if Neve Campbell is the draw to bring the fans to come see these Scream films, if she wants $15 million for this franchise, give it to her. But then she's about to do, oh my God, what's that video game? A movie based on that freaking PlayStation video game. Just Twisted Metal. She's about to star in that series with Anthony Mackie. So she's good for now. We'll see. Okay, so our number 7 story. Let's get a little daytime tea. So Amanda Seales is opening up about her reaction for being excluded from The Real, their final episode, which aired recently. So in a recent interview with the Breakfast Club, Amanda Seales discusses why she's upset about not being highlighted in the farewell episode of The Real, which, lasted about 8 seasons. Here's what she said. In this particular instance, I'm going to stand on the fact that at the end of the day, if you're going to do a retrospective of a show over the years that it's been on and the hosts that have been on it, it don't matter what I say, I was a host on that show. Now, the 40-year-old previously stated on Instagram Live that she left the show because it wasn't good for her spirit. And during the interview, Charlamagne agrees with her being intentionally left out of the last episode. Seales adds, which I have confirmed was the case. She continued on to say, people were like, oh, she was only there for 5 minutes. I did make that joke earlier. But let's get serious now. Said, no, I was there for 6 months. 3 of those months were in a pandemic. I've committed myself to this and I gave myself to that. And I know what I contributed immensely to that space. Amanda also explained her relationship with the other host on the panel, co-host. Well, we haven't really seen anybody really, and like Jeannie and Adrian hit me up and were like, that's bullshit. We did not realize that that was, happening. And we were going to do an IG live, but our schedules didn't line up. And it was just like, it's fine. Well, that just goes to show that, yeah, she is not cool with Lonnie, who seemed like she moved on. She's over on E doing Nightly Pop, Daily Pop with Justin. I see her on there. And she says, so apparently the real and the finale episode of the promo, I'm not featured in the thumbnail and blah, 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 so on and so forth. Now, so with that being said, I do think that the real was being petty. I think because she would speak up about things that she didn't like about behind the scenes. Like she said there were certain things that they would do on the show in regards of doing Black culture topics, and they would give it to the white producer, and how there weren't a lot of producers of color working behind the scenes. And it's like, yeah, if you're going to do a show, that's like with this show. If I'm going to do a show, I need some people who understand my POV and my perspective. I need a queer person of color producing what I'm doing, which is what I have doing this show and many of the other shows. I can't have a white person producing me because what do you know about my experience? What do you know about the things I want to talk about and what point of view? And even when it comes down, when y'all watch the little commercials in between the breaks and the TikTok videos and all these little things that we come in, a white gay person is not going to get that camaraderie, that situation, that shade, that energy that I bring, or understand my personality. So you need somebody of that perspective. And that's what they needed over at The Real. So I do think it was intentional. Same with The View. If The View, this 25th season was a final season, and the many millions of hundreds of thousands of co-hosts that done came and went through that building, if they excluded people, like they would even, like that would be shady. Like they couldn't exclude all the girls. Like you would have to have them all come up in there. Nicole Wallace, you would have to have Rosie Perez, Rosie O'Donnell, all of them would have to come up in there and give their little, their situation. And as much as we can't stand Nutmeg McCain, they still have to acknowledge the fact that yes, she did contribute 4 years of of her insanity to this show, The View. Even though her point of view was stupid, she contributed 4 years of it to that show. So I do get it. It's like they were being petty. That show was a mess, and I'm glad those girls are over and done with that show. And then that kind of got me worried because I was thinking about it also. Like Wendy Williams' final week is next week. Like we got 5 more episodes of the Wendy Williams show, and that show is done. Wendy Williams is not coming back. Are they going to acknowledge Wendy Williams? Are they going to do a whole homage to what she's contributed to the show for, what season we in? 13, 14? Of the 13 years that she actually showed up to work? Like, how are we gonna work? What are they gonna do? Are we just gonna act like the elephant in the room isn't there? Or are we just gonna look over there? Shout out to Jada Essence Hall. Look over there. Are we gonna? Is that what we doing? Is that what we giving? Just total act like Wendy didn't keep y'all motherfuckers with a job for the many years, the over plus decade plus whatever. Miss, Suzanne had 2 of her kids doing that show. Her and her husband work on the show. So how are we gonna work this out? And y'all better not give Michael goddamn Rappaport another fucking week on that damn show. I can't with her. And talking about house fucking wives. Because I can't. Every goddamn housewife don't need to sit on that damn purple couch. And y'all, I don't care about them bitches. I know there's some of y'all that do. But I'm just over that whole situation. It's like, can we find somebody else to talk about, please? So, with so many of with Maury, Ellen, Wendy, Jimmy Kimmel, and then James Corden over at Nightlife, they're leaving. What is the future of daytime and primetime look like? Late night and daytime and late night. What's it giving? I know we got Jennifer Hudson's got a show, Sherry Shepherd's got a show coming, Karamo's got a show. More, so many people are leaving, but we getting all these people, and it's like, are these people going to give us what needs to be given in regards of quality entertainment in daytime? Like, is daytime dead? Because some of the choices y'all choosing to give shows to, this ain't it. And the lack of diversity in late night, don't even get me started on that shit. If y'all give another fucking Jimmy or a James or a John or a Tom another goddamn show. But meanwhile, there's a lot of us over here that are giving what needs to be given, that are putting together fierce shows, putting in a lot of work, and y'all pay us dust. Because y'all don't want to take the time to nurture the real talent, those us DIY folk that's out here putting together some real shit, some real shows. Haven't we played that clip enough? But anyway, let's play Wendy, Shade, and Sherry just one more time over with Mr. Terror Squad himself, Fat Joe. And then we'll come back with more tea. I'm just in a shady mood today, Henny. It's hot. I can't turn the AC on.
You miss not coming to the show?
Yes, I do. I wish I was there. I wish I was there right now to talk about it and talk about it with you. But you know what? Because they already put people there like you. You guys are already in position. So you'll be talking about that. But I'm glad that I'm able to talk about when I come back.
Okay, so is there plans for a new show, or are you coming back to the Wendy Williams show?
Coming back to the Wendy Williams show. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow. Because I know they were talking about Sherry Shepherd taking over the show, a new, what?
But I won't be watching her because I know what she's going to be doing, and that's really not my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, but I love being on my own show, and I love that people love to watch it, all the time.
No, Wendy, we don't know what the hell you're talking about. I don't think you know what you're talking about. But good luck to whatever it is that you out there doing. You do you, niece. We love Wendy, the iconic Wendy Williams. I guess, like I said a million times, podcasts are the way to go. Maybe that's the future. Maybe daytime and late night is dead. That it's all about the podcast. It's all about going on the internet and creating your own content. Because that's what people are going anyway. People ain't got time to be watching these tight-ass shows on network TV that aren't really giving any kind of anything. It's the same corny-ass format. Y'all telling stupid-ass jokes. You're talking about the Kardashians, but I'm sick of them motherfuckers. Although I am going to talk about the Kardashians in a second. But it pertains to Kylie Minogue, and that's the only reason I'm talking about, because Kylie is my goddess. So I got to talk about that. It's always kind of throw a dag at the Kardashians, because I don't like them bitches. They irritate me. I'm tired of them always being in my damn timeline, even when I don't give a fuck about them. Like, I'm hearing Kourtney's unhappy with her storyline. Well, bitch, stop being boring. And then the whole thing about Khloe with Tristan, because she a damn donkey. You out here ladling and spreading it wild with your friends' boyfriends, and then you mad when he do it to you. That's called karma, bitch. Anyway, so let's move on. Good luck to you, Wendy. We'll see how they play out this whole Wendy Williams final week, and then we'll be back here on Saturday to talk about it. And I'll give my extra thoughts on that. So actress Julia Garner, who you all know from Ozark, what? That's basically what I know her as doing. Always yelling Wyatt's name. I love doing that. But anyway, I probably scared the shit out of y'all watching this. But anyway, so Julia Garner, who you know plays Ruth on Ozark, and she was from Inventing Anna, has been offered the role to play Madonna in the Queen of Pop's highly anticipated upcoming biopic, which the Queen of Pop co-wrote and will direct. Now, according to Variety, they're saying that Garner will accept the part. Now, produced by Universal Pictures and directed, as I stated, by Madonna herself, the film will follow her early career through her metamorphosis into a bona fide legend. Now, many A-list names have been rumored to take on the coveted role, such as Euphoria star Alexa Demi, Florence Pugh, and Odessa Young. Well, Florence Pugh is kind of busy. She's off shooting, so I knew she was going to get it. She's off shooting Dune, the second part. And Odessa Young. Singers like BB Rexa and Sky Ferreira have also been in the conversation. However, Garner appears to have beaten them all out, including Madonna's own daughter, Lourdes Leon, who was at one point pegged to play her mother. Now, it was claimed by The Hollywood Reporter that the audition process was grueling with 11-hour boot camps, including choreography sessions with Madonna's own choreographer and singing lessons with the original Material Girl herself. But it seems that after many months searching for the perfect actress, Julia Garner is the last one standing. Now, me personally, when I heard about it, I know there were some people who did jump in my timeline when I first posted this story. I was trying to post it to Instagram. You know, whenever I write my stories and promoting Tribe, I do post a lot of the stories that I write from Tribe on my Instagram. But for some reason, Instagram would not allow me to post the articles. I was like, okay, well, fuck you then. So it's on Tribe if you want to read the whole story where I talked about, you know, my feelings, but I will give you my assessment. I am not bothered by Julia playing Madonna. I do think that she favors her in a lot of ways. I know there were some people who jumped in my timeline and was like, I don't see it. She don't look nothing like her. I'm so irritated when people go, they expect an exact visual interpretation of an actor. It's about the essence. Angela Bassett didn't look like Tina Turner. There were elements of Tina that we saw in her, from the wig to the outfit choices to how she would do her voice and her diction and her facial expressions and stuff. She captured the essence of Tina. Austin Butler looks nothing like Elvis, but I do see elements of Elvis in him. The way they made him over, from the commercial that I saw of the new Baz Luhrmann movie Elvis that's coming out, I definitely could see Elvis in him. You had what's his name? Joaquin Phoenix's Johnny Cash. So it goes on and on and on. You had Jamie Foxx's Ray Charles. Like there's ways that you could make the actor look like. And to be also looking at Julia is very much a chameleon as an actor, and I can see why they went with her. She's completely different. There's a complete transition when you see her from playing Madonna. Well, not Madonna. We haven't seen that yet. When you see her playing Ruth on Ozark versus her in. He is cute, and luckily for Austin Butler, he's dating Kaya Gerber, who is Cindy Crawford's and Randy Gerber's daughter. So he's in with the elites. I'm like, okay, he's in with the royals and stuff. Like, you up there with the original supermodel, one of them. But anyway, so with that being said, I like the fact that you have these actors who are it's called hair and makeup, your body and the essence. I'm looking forward to seeing how she's going to pull up this role, but I definitely could see her in there. I feel like a lot of people just don't understand like how casting and acting and all this stuff works. So I'm not that bothered by it. But apparently some people are bothered by it. So, one fan said Julia is a monster in the acting department. She's going to kill this role. Author Abdi Nazemian said, from day one I've said Julia Garner is the choice. She looks like Madonna and has her spirit. And that's what I said. What else? Okay, so podcaster Rose Dumu made a hilarious suggestion regarding the intense audition boot camp, joking, now who will play Julia Garner in the limited series about the Madonna boot camp? Oh, please, don't give them no fucking ideas. However, there was a resounding cry from Alexa Demi fans who felt she was robbed. One fan penned, Alexa Demi, get up and fight. Well, what you fighting for? Madonna made her choice and that's that. What fight you talking about? Have a seat. Even editor-at-large of Them, Michael Cuby, said justice for Alexa Demi. Yeah, okay, your opinion doesn't matter. Despite the mixed reactions, I have to say that, you know what? At least we're getting a biopic for Madonna. I am a little nervous that Madonna is directing her own film because I feel like, yes, no one can tell your story better than you, but I'm really hoping that we get the good, the bad, and the ugly side. I don't want no biasness of you trying to tell your own story, but okay. But I'll be watching because I'm a Madonna fan. And I've heard she's kind of retired, so that's why she's doing singles. I think we talked about that before. But anyway, yeah, we're about to come down to the 1 hour mark, but we're gonna power through this these top 10s. And then we're gonna get to the LGBT stuff. But anyway, let me shut up and get to the story. So move right along. Our next story is what is it? Number 4. Yes, honey. Kylie Minogue is finally speaking out about her one-time legal dispute with Kylie Jenner. Now, years after formally blocking Jenner from trademarking their shared first name, Kylie, for her then soon-to-be launched cosmetics brand, Minogue spoke publicly about the lawsuit during an appearance on Watch What Happens Live this past Tuesday. Now, getting asked about her feelings toward the trademark litigation by a fan, the 54-year-old Can't You Out of My Head performer let out a laugh and said it was just business, obviously. Look, when I was named Kylie, I think I met one person older than me called Kylie, so it's kind of unusual. I spent a lifetime protecting my brand and building my brand, so it was just something that had to be done. To which COHEN, 54, high-five pop icon, and replied, "You say we came to an agreement." And then Andy asked, well, I don't care what Andy asked her, because he was saying some shit about, did you have to talk to Kris Jenner about fucking what? Because first of all, I would not be surprised if Kris Jenner got the Kylie name from Kylie Minogue, because people knew who Kylie Minogue was. But you know how Americans are. Y'all act like because y'all not familiar with a certain artist and they're not big over in America, that y'all could just do some slick shit and we won't find out about it. But I know who Kylie Minogue was. First of all, what I didn't know is that Kylie has been in the industry since 1979. I'm like, well, goddamn, I think her and Madonna were kind of in the industry around the same time, but Kylie was younger, by 10 years. But nevertheless, Kylie's been in the industry for almost 4 decades in one way or another. But in music, she's been doing it for 3 decades. But that's still near here nor there. Y'all don't own shit. And that's the problem with the Jenner family. Y'all act like a bunch of fucking colonizers. Trying to colonize everything. Trying to colonize people's name for your brand. You don't own the Kylie name when Kylie Minogue's career was an existing thing before you were even trying to brand yourself as something within cosmetics or whatever the case was. So I don't understand how you sit up here trying to do that when Kylie Minogue was a thing before you. But this is how y'all think. Y'all think y'all just bulldoze and bully people and just take whatever and we just accept it. Just like, a lot of people out here accusing, what's her name? Kim Kardashian, for similarities between Skin and Skin by Lori Harvey. Because Kim got SKKN and Lori Harvey has SKN. So, they're trying to say that she biting off another black woman. We've had those conversations so many times on this show, and Drinks and Dragons, so many other iterations. But yeah, so at the end of the day, Kylie, you did the right thing, because I'm like, first of all, if I was Kris Avalon for 2 decades or 3 decades, whatever, and here come this child with a similar name, and you want to try to trademark when I already have it, no, sorry, you can't. I came before your ass. Now, speaking of Lori Harvey, apparently she done pull the whole Thanos move over on Michael B. Jordan and just pretty much erased him from her entire life and timeline over on social media. So the Skin by LH founder has wiped all photos of ex-boyfriend Michael B. Jordan from her Instagram profile following their breakup and also unfollowed him. The Creed star, however, still has all his photos with and of Harvey on his Instagram, but he also unfollowed her. Neither has publicly commented on the surprising split, though Harvey's famous father, Steve Harvey, confirmed the former couple went their separate ways. I heard about it, the Family Feud host said on his morning radio show this past Monday. I wish them well. I'm Team Lori, 1,000%. She's my daughter. I love her and I support her. Well, what else are you going to be? Like, I'd kind of give you the side eye if you were saying that you was Team Bakari. Of course you Team Lori. That's your daughter. I'd be Lord of my child too. Noting that things happen, he says, I feel fine. I'm fine. Ain't changed my life none. I still got to go to work. I got to take care of my family. I still got to keep putting this money aside for these grandkids. They said they walked away on good terms, and that the dating in the public eye proved difficult for Lori. Since when? Because we always knew about her tea with all the other people that she was in a relationship with. So how is this relationship all of a sudden different? I know on Cocktails with Queens, Lisa Ray alluded to the fact that I think Bakari was in love with his ex and wanted to get serious with Lori because he was in that serious relationship with an older woman. And, you know, to me, I look at Michael as someone who's very serious about everything. He's a man of a certain age. He's older. He's in his 30s, on the later side of 30, so he's more or less hitting the 40 stage in a couple of years. So I can understand he wants to settle down and get married and have kids, but you ain't gonna do that with no 25-year-old. Not no 25-year-old influencer who, quiet as it's kept, benefited wholeheartedly from being attached to Michael B. Jordan with all your brands and etc. Because nobody was taking you seriously when you was with Future and all these other rappers and these other people. But getting with Michael B. Jordan gave you some sort of sophistication, and I'm sure it did for him as well, because people were saying it's a contractual relationship. The contract ran out, a year done passed, and all this other shit. So there was a lot of that. And people say, oh, he gonna go back to white women. Who fucking cares? At least he was in a relationship for a year with a black girl. And I don't understand why people are so fixated on who people sleeping with, who they dating, when you ain't gonna get to fuck him. So I don't know why y'all so concerned about who Michael B. Jordan sleeping with, what race. People get so wrapped up in what everybody else is doing. Y'all don't focus on your own shit. First of all, half of you don't even know who your damn baby daddies are. Where they at? They probably locked up in fucking jail. But you sending them, you know, boxes every month of stuff, Skittles or Snickers or whatever it is they asking for, doing congregal visits. But you out here worrying about, you know, well, y'all can't go out and get paternity test because Maury's done. So you ain't gonna know who your baby daddies is, but you're out here worrying about everybody else. You worrying about Bakari and Lori's relationship. But it kind of makes me wonder what caused this relationship, because y'all saying that it was amicable, but it feels a little shady. This is why I can't do social media and relationships and that sort of thing. Because now it's like, now I have to make sure that, well, when you wipe it and get rid of people, it's like, oh, so now every time I break up with somebody, I got to clear them out of my timeline. Like, that's stupid. I ain't got time to be going through my Instagram and deleting people that I was in a relationship. It was a part of my life. It was a part of my history. It's going to stay there. And every year, if you want to remind me of that pain, I can write a song about it. I'll do it. Hey, Taylor Swift. But then it was funny. Her mother went and jumped in on the conversation and posted in her Instagram stories, her mother Marjorie, of resharing a video of where actress Jennifer Lewis is giving advice saying this: you sit and shit too long and stop smelling. So come the F out of here. Seemingly referencing, you know, the whole Lori and Michael B. Jordan split. So I guess what she was implying was that Lori was putting up with a lot of things that wasn't an okay situation amongst that. Lori should have been putting up with a lot of shit that apparently Bakari wanted her to put up with, in so many words. And she was tolerating it. Because I guess being in a relationship with him afforded her a lot of things that she was able to get being in a relationship with him. Whatever that was that he was doing. Maybe they had an open relationship. Who knows? What we could do is speculate. But anyway, moving right along, let's talk about this whole mess going on at Lemmy's, network, the Zeus network. So legal trouble might be looming from Mr. Milan, Rio, and Moolah, that closet case, as they're out here promoting a show and auditions for a show called Bad Boys Atlanta. So Lemmy is not happy with the fact that Milan is over here launching his own network. And child, I got the Roland Ray read for y'all too. So we're going to bring that up because Roland Ray went in on him. Child, I hollered when I read that. So when I cue production, I'm gonna need y'all to put it up. Okay, so Milan, Rio, and Mula Arjuno are reality stars of Zeus Network's Bad Boys LA as fans await this series reunion special, which Milan said he not going. Pussy asshole. Now, on Wednesday, here's what he said. He added to fan speculation that he won't be returning to the Zeus Network at all. He shared a flyer on Instagram announcing his casting call on June 18th for a new show he's producing called Bad Boys Atlanta with his co-stars Mula and Rio. Because quiet as it's kept, nobody wanted their asses over on the Zeus show to begin with. So Milan's followers, like Milan himself, were confused, being that I could have sworn Zeus had the rights to the name of the show. And how you holding casting calls for this show when they're holding a casting call for season 2 in Houston? So I don't understand all that. Oh yeah, I was going to talk about Monique. Apparently Monique's sister done clapped Ak and Monique, but I feel like we're not going to have enough time to get to that, so I guess we're going to scrap it. After going back and forth, but anyway, so Zeus sent out the following post on their Instagram. The Zeus Network has been made aware that Milan Christopher has issued a casting call for a show called Bad Boys Atlanta. This show is not affiliated with Zeus, and the use of the Bad Boys name in connection with the program is a violation of Zeus's exclusive intellectual property rights. Zeus must protect the use of its intellectual property, and as a result, Zeus has issued a cease and desist to Mr. Christopher pertaining to his unauthorized use of Zeus's trademark and other rights. Furthermore, Mr. Christopher's contract, as well as the contracts of Rio and Mula Mo with Zeus, contains an exclusivity period provision in which they agreed that they would not appear on another reality television program until June 2023 without first obtaining Zeus's written permission. Accordingly, Mr. Christopher, Rio, and Mula Mo are not permitted to appear on another reality series at this time. We apologize for any confusion surrounding the next installment of the Bad Boys franchise. Currently, we look forward to the second season's auditions of Bad Boys in Houston, Texas this weekend. Additionally, the Baddies franchise premiere, Baddies South, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Milan out here being a typical ballroom stunt queen, pulling stunts and shows, trying to get y'all to come out to audition. Child, let me tell you, y'all got a better chance of appearing on season 6 of Chasing Atlanta than y'all do dealing with this bullshit ass show. Quiet as it's kept, I'd go on Chasing Atlanta before I do anything to do with Zeus and that shit. And number 2, I actually thought that I thought Karan owned the rights to Bad Boy. Oh, child, you over here doing a YouTube show and you don't own nothing? So you got Bad Boys Club, which is probably what it is. They can't use Bad Boys Club, but they could use the whole Bad Boys moniker. So there may be like a little loophole where Karan owns Bad Boys Club name, which is why they can't call it Bad Boys Club. They own Milan said he the goat. Of what? He got his own farm or something? Because that's the only thing you the goat of. If you own a farm and you farming goats, but you ain't no goat. You can't be a goat when you did one season of Love and Hip Hop LA on a fake ass relationship. And then we don't see you for almost a decade, and then you pop up on another show where you act like you was a star, but you wasn't. But anyway, let's play this clip of Milan talking all this bullshit like he about some shit. I'm saying Zeus ain't got, don't own nothing and all this other mess. Y'all need to hear this foolishness. Roll that clip.
Dear Zeus, dear Lemuel Plummer, dear Natalie Nine, sweetie, you don't own the rights to a fuck-ass thing. It's a Bad Boys movie, Bad Boys Records, and there has been tons of motherfucking Bad Boys TV shows before you even came out with motherfucking Bad Boys LA. So releasing a statement saying your intellectual property, you don't have any intellectual property that has anything to do with Bad Boys Atlanta, which has actually been copyrighted and trademarked by me. So go mind your motherfucking business, bitch. And with that being said, make sure you guys come out to June 18th for the Bad Boys Atlanta casting call. Make sure you click on MCTV Streaming Network and fill out your applications so you guys can come out and have the opportunity to be on a new show.
And you know, they messy over there at the Zeus network because they follow that up with a post letting followers know that they are the actual official owners of the Bad Boys reality franchise, and their auditions in Houston will be hosted by none other than Jonathan Wright, who beat the shit out of Rio on the show, and you sat and watched. So I'm thinking this is all some bitter shit. You mad because you didn't like the way that you were portrayed on the show, and you called them all kinds of lies, and you doing a Bad Boys show. To me, it's like none of y'all are bad boys. None of y'all are about that life, and you're trying to create a show that is gonna be corny as fuck. Like, to me, y'all fight. Okay, Milan, you damn near 40 pulling these stunts, and to me, looking at it is like, where do we go from here? Like, what is your end goal? What is the end game? What is it? What is the whole goal of this whole Bad Boys thing? It's like trying to show how big and bad you are. Like, at a certain age, there's become a point where you got to think like a businessman. You got to think beyond being messy and pulling stunts at shows and all this other bullshit. Because the math ain't mathing. It's not. But good luck to you. And good luck getting this show out there and this, that, and the third. Because, you know, Let Me Money is long. And I feel like, girl, you ain't ready. You ain't ready for that financial jelly. Trust and believe. But anyway, so I'll keep you guys abreast of that story as it develops. But quite frankly, I'm going to say this. Since the Jonathan episode, I have not watched the show. I heard that the show is done, that they aired their season finale last week. I have not watched, like I said, since the whole Jonathan fight and he left. I'm glad that it's like Jonathan getting opportunities from the Zeus network. You know, get your coins, girl. But at the end of the day, it's just like, this is just it's just a mess over there. Like, but I'm entertained by it. And like I said, I'm gonna keep you all abreast and we'll see what happens. Okay, so now our final story. Let's get to this real quick. Congratulations to Britney. And her husband, her now husband, Sam Asghari, who you know, they finally tied the knot. The longtime couple wed in front of, according to People, they wed in front of 60 guests, including Madonna, Drew Barrymore, and Paris Hilton, who, sidebar, Paris Hilton revealed that she passed up DJing for Joe Biden to go to Britney wedding. Child, all she was gonna do is sit and press a bunch of fucking buttons for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So y'all could have got another DJ. I hope y'all did. I wonder who they did get to DJ the event. Speaking of which, oh, I forgot the Tonys is this weekend too. I didn't know that the Tony. That was another thing I was trying to think. I didn't know because a lot, you know, as where I work in the medical field, so I'm testing a lot of people for COVID, and that's the job that pays the bills, so I can do this show. But speaking of which, so a lot of people come in and I'm going to an award show. I'm like, okay, you're like the fifth person that came in here and told me you go to, what show is going on? What's happening? They were like, the Tonys. I'm like, the Tonys is this weekend? Where the fuck was I? Like, I didn't even hear nothing about the Tonys. Maybe because I'm over award shows. And a lot of these award shows is tied. But I didn't know the Tonys was this weekend. But I'll definitely be watching because my girl Ariana DeBose is hosting. And I loved her as Anita in West Side Story. So I'm gonna definitely watch. And plus, I think tomorrow's the final day for Take Me Out too. So if y'all got what? One more day to see Jesse Williams' dick live and in Technicolor. Well, in person. In Technicolor. Anyway. So Spears wore a gown by famed fashion house Versace, you know, Donatella was there, and walked down the aisle to Elvis Presley's Can't Help Falling in Love, according to sources. That Britney walked herself down the aisle because none of her family was invited and none of her kids was there. The insider also added that the Toxic singer kept the same hair and makeup look throughout the evening, but changed the outfit. Well, she probably did her hair and makeup herself because it looked like she did, but changed the outfit 3 times during the reception. She also tore up the dance floor with Madonna, not wearing any shoes, because you know that damn Britney loved being barefoot in places. She was barefoot in public bathrooms, and then she barefoot doing, you know, this shit. But anyway. A second source told people that the party wrapped at 11:30 and the newlyweds were whisked away in a white Rolls Royce with the classic Just Married sign on the back. Now, it ended up being the happiest night for Britney. She wanted a fairy tale wedding and she got it, which I'm happy for her. But apparently the one person who wasn't happy was Jason Alexander, that husband that she was married to for like 5 seconds. That was annulled. So we got that clip at the beginning of the show, but we're gonna play it again. Roll that clip.
You gotta leave. Don't put your hands on me. You gotta leave. Don't put your hands on me. Leave. Please don't put your hands on me.
You have to leave.
Hey, where's Britney at? To the bullshit wedding, Jason Alexander. What's up? You love roses? Who are you?
What's up, Michael?
Michael, that's Michael, guys. It's Jason. First husband, here to crash it. No, my name's Jason Alexander. Britney invited me here. Britney Spears invited me here. She's my first wife, my only wife. I'm her first husband. I'm here to crash the wedding because nobody's here but Sam. So where the fuck's the family and there's Cade right there. Cade! Cade! Come here, Cade! Spears invited me here. First wife, my only wife. I'm her first husband. I'm here to crash the wedding because nobody's here but Sam. So where the fuck's the family and there's Cade right there.
They tackle her ass to the floor, child. But also, I heard the tea that he was also there was a warrant out for his arrest. So when they arrested him, he had an outstanding warrant and they threw his ass in jail. So he a whole fool. Your ego, I wouldn't be surprised if Jamie Lynn put him up to that. Also, Britney ain't thinking about your ass. She in love with Sam. But you know what? And while I'm happy for her and this other, that I'm glad she's out of conservatorship and she's getting her money, this just kind of bothered me a little bit. It's like, I can understand you not inviting your parents and your sister because of all the stuff we've heard in regards to me covering the whole conservatorship and the shadiness that, transpired between her family. But I don't understand Jaden and Sean not being there. Those are her two sons. Like, you literally trying to wipe the slate clean and act like that you just started this whole new family with Sam. Like, that I don't understand. Like, you not inviting your kids to the situation. So to me, that was a red flag. And I hope Britney's happy. But look, this is what y'all wanted. Y'all wanted her free, and this is the repercussions of that. And she's gonna enjoy what it is that she's gonna get out of this marriage. And good luck to you and Sam. And that's all I'm gonna say about it. But I'm gonna keep one eye open on it. Because I don't know, something in the milk ain't clean on this whole situation. So let's take a break because we are almost at the 90-minute mark, and it took me forever to get through all those topics, but I had to break shit down. We're going to take a quick break, come back. We're going to break down these LGBT topics. We're going to talk about Legendary. We're going to talk about Canada Drag Race versus the World. A famous actor, another actor come out of the closet. We're going to talk about Ray J, talk about straight men to show more love and support to gay men. We're going to talk about Billy Eichner and talk about how Hollywood is homophobic and hypocritical. We're going to also follow up on BET speaking out on Lil Nas X and his comments about fuck BET. And he also came out with a clapback track. We're also going to talk about Da Brat and, complications trying to have a baby. And then we're also going to talk about Zaya Wade and how Dwayne Wade feels that he's, going through drastic measures to keep his trans daughter safe. So we got all that and a whole lot more. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Kris Avalon Unfiltered. So don't go away, y'all.
Unfiltered, filtered.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Bryant, and I'm just here to let y'all know that June 9th, B-Boy Blues, the film, will be premiering on BET Plus, which features an exceptional cast that includes myself, and it's directed by the amazing Jussie Smollett and written by the iconic, remarkable James Earl Hardy. So make sure y'all tune in June 9th and get into the poster. Like being a white up here, but anyway, make sure y'all have your watch parties and listen out for that soundtrack because guess who's on it? Guess who's on it? This guy. But yeah, this movie includes drama, romance, sex, and my favorite part, which is beautiful black queer people. So make sure y'all tune in. B-Boy Blues, Young Kobe the God. Yeah.
Bitch, she was not playing when she was doing them dips. Okay. Now, welcome back to the second half of the show where we get into the LGBT topics. And speaking of pops, dips, and spins, bitch, let's get into that finale of Legendary. Now, I hope y'all seen it because I'm about to spoil some shit, but I have to give it up to the House of Juicy Couture. Congratulations to my team, my house, the Kiki house, who killed the competition. I have to say this was a good season. I hate the fact that it was rushed though. Like I rushed all 10 episodes. We got it in like 4 weeks, but still, this season gave me my life. I love the addition of Keke Palmer. I liked her more than I like Megan Thee Stallion. I think I told you that at the beginning when we first started talking about the first 3 episodes. But yes, a fight pretty much through the houses. I love Yoji Yamamoto definitely did a good job. You know, Aoki Lee, I knew her outside of this whole thing because you know she did show The Circle, and we've seen her journey with transitioning and all the other stuff when she was doing that reality show, and then she comes on and does this show. And it's great to see, you know, people that I'm familiar with, not only her, but Aja too. Like, congratulations with her in the House of LaBeija when what they did, you know, doing what they did. I thought they were going to go further, but y'all wasn't giving what needed to be given during the season. No shade, just saying. But I did see that Aja did allude to some things where she said there was some things that she didn't agree with in regards to production and putting the house together and a whole bunch of other stuff. She said she's going to reveal that down the line on the Twitter. But I'm like, girl, this was the opportunity to do it because Legendary is trending. Now people ain't going to give a damn no more when, you know, it's the show stops trending. So hopefully she reveals it, you know, in due time, but don't wait too long. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the next season. Hopefully we will get another season because this show, they definitely brought their A game with the production and Dolce & Gabbana sponsoring. And it was just a whole lot. It was just a whole lot of fierceness going on. So congratulations to all the people that partook in Legendary and this house the House of Juicy Couture for basically igniting some shit. Like give me my entire life. Like I guess, the past season. Now, speaking of things where that made me go gag and not in a good way, we got another spinoff of Drag Race coming, and that is Canada's Drag Race versus the World. This was also revealed on Thursday, along with the episode of Legendary. They revealed it online. That Drag Race franchise is going to do a Canada versus the World. We had UK versus the World, which a lot of people, myself included, was disappointed in. But now they're doing one with Canada. It's going to premiere this year with Brooklyn Heights, Brad Goreski, and Tracy Melcore set to preside over the series panel. From what I'm hearing, according to Entertainment Weekly, the 6-episode season will see the queens competing for the title of Queen of the Mother-Tucking World, with the cast being revealed in the near future. Well, there have been some rumors on the people who are going to partake on the season, and I'm going to tell y'all. Anita Wiglet from Down Under. We have Isis Couture from Canada. The funny thing is she won season 2. So why the hell y'all got her competing again? So I don't know. These are rumored, but let's take it with a grain of salt. Kendall, Canada's Drag Race. She was the runner-up. Miss Cracker. I've heard her name, but I don't necessarily know if that's true. Raja O'Hara is a definite. And Rita Baga from Canada. Silky Nutmeg Ganache, I've heard that she is confirmed. And I heard that Raja and Silky are gonna make it all the way to the end. Stephanie Prince from Canada, Vanity Milan from the UK, Victoria Scone from the UK. And with these girls, at least the UK girls will actually make some money and not just be winning off of RuPeter badges and shit. So we'll take the list with a grain of salt. I did hear that, that the ones that I did mention were going to be a part of it. What I'm more excited about, because I'm not really that excited for Canada's Drag Race, and I do find, can we turn the music down? The music is a little loud in my ears. I will say that I'm not that excited for Canada. I didn't even like regular Canada's Drag Race. I don't feel like these judges give it what needs to be given in regards of like the essence of that. España was my shit. They just ended their season on Tuesday. I still don't know who won because I have not watched the finale yet. Don't kill me. I know normally I'd be on it, but I've just been busy and I've been exhausted. So like I'll put the TV on and literally the TV be watching me. So on that note, I'm not that excited. I'll watch it when it's on, but I'm not gonna get all jump for joy because they're doing a Canada. And I do find it weird that Raja and Silky are going to be judged by Brooklyn Heights, who was on their season competing. But whatever. This shit is rigged. That's what it feels like. What I'm more excited about is the All-Stars of Dragula, because that's what's coming. Y'all heard it here first. And watch Entertainment Weekly, the rest of them talk about that weeks later. But, and another thing, sidebar. I know some of the people that's going to be on there, but I can't say nothing. I'm going to keep that to myself until the time is right. Just like I knew about, Drag Race France and Nikki Doll about to do that. I knew about oh my god, how I forget her damn name? Jiggly Caliente judging Philippines. And now I'm telling y'all an exclusive. Yes, there is a Dragula All-Stars coming. Sooner than y'all think. But and I can't tell y'all who's gonna be a part of it, but yes, it's coming to Shudder, just so y'all know. So I'm excited about that. That's what I'm more excited about. Now, moving right along, congratulations to Rebel Wilson for coming out of the closet. Now, that was one thing I had never thought the day would come where I would say, Rebel Wilson's into girls? She like good old clam chowder. She into tuna fish. Okay, all jokes aside. She said, though she doesn't use any specific labels, thank God, because why do we always have to put labels on shit? Wilson's post makes it very clear that she is a part of the LGBTQ plus community, stating, I thought I was just searching for a Disney prince, but maybe what I was really needing all this time was a Disney princess. Hashtag love is love, rainbow emoji and all. Now, the bridesmaid, I was making fun of NENE Leakes Bridesmaid starts smiling beside her presumed partner, Lemon v. Lemon, clothing line brand founder Ramona Gruma. So, shout out to Rebel, who lost all that weight and got her princess. And you know what? I think this is a great time where it's like, you know what? If whatever makes you feel comfortable, you feel the need to come out and be your true, authentic self, take the moment. Do you. No judgments over here. The more the merrier. And I know people feel like, well, why do we constantly need to come out? Because we need the visibility. Visibility matters. I'm tired of all this, you know, these people taking advantage of us during Pride Month with all these, you know, all these corporations. All of a sudden, y'all love us and y'all want to put rainbows every damn where. And then July 1st come and it's like, okay, so what's going on? Like, y'all throw so much at us, but are you really taking the opportunity, all the money that you're making off of us for Pride Month, are you putting it back into the community, or are you just taking advantage of us and fattening your pockets? Is that money going to GLSEN or AMFAR or any of the LGBTQ plus organizations that we have around? That's a good question. That's what I want to know. Probably not. So let's talk about Ray J. So Ray J recently came out with a passionate call for heterosexual men to show more love and support to gay men. The singer and brother of R&B star Brandy, in case people like Jack Harlow didn't know. Speaking of which, I forgot to mention that the rumor is that Lori Harvey already moved on and is allegedly dating Jack Harlow, who loves black women. He had to let us know that the other day too, but okay. We're going to talk about Jack Harlow in a moment when I equate that with the whole Lil Nas X team. So he's calling for greater solidarity with the LGBTQ plus community, saying a lot of N-words that's straight. They don't be trying to shout out the gay community and all my gay N-words the right way. Listen, I just want to say that it's Gay Pride Month. Shout out to all my gay N-words. Shout out to everybody in the LGBTQ community. I told my N-words that there needs to be more straight N-words, giving love to the gay N-words. There's a lot of N-words being used in a sentence. I need you to expand on your vernacular, niece. Ray J also explained that his impassioned call for solidarity was brought on by the number of gay friends he had and wanting to use his platform to publicly support them. Are you alluding to Prince from Love and Hip Hop? Who apparently, you know, was out here talking about that, you know, a lot of things he was alluding to was more or less about toxic masculinity than it was about the fact that straight people don't feel the need to support gay people out of fear that they're going to be labeled gay. Because that's the real tea. A lot of y'all are so afraid of being lumped in as being gay that you feel like I can't have gay friends because of that. And I know there's some people that like to fall in that, but I'm here to tell you it's possible that you can be gay, have straight friends, because I have a lot of straight male friends, and are okay with me being who I am. And we all hang out, we do things, but they, you know, they don't worry too much about what other people think because they're secure in their own sexuality. Those are the people you need to worry about, not these hood boogers that's so worried about what other people think. And you know, they've been painting Prince from Love and Hip Hop with that gay brush for years. And was it because you was hanging out with Bobby Lights? You know what? I forgot to bring up, speaking of which, there was, what was it? The tweet about, you know, Roland Ray that he threw about it. Oh boy, what's his name? Oh my God, I can't remember when my, oh my God, Milan. We basically threw shade at her over some comments she made. I mean, what was it? Oh, I got it. Milan Christopher's trying to start his own bad boy show, but don't even have bad boy money. You still got to pay security, and I may pay them good. Boy, you seen how Rio got mollywop on Jonathan's block? Yeah, imagine a budget under Milan Christopher. Laugh emojis. This is chess, not checkers. So yeah, I wanted to, you know, I forgot to bring that up earlier. Anyway, moving right back onto this one. I agree with Ray J on this. It's like, y'all so scared because y'all worry so much about what other people think that you deny yourself of having the opportunities of being friends with people who are different than you because you weren't so much about that. That's an insecurity in your own sexuality. And I know recently you had old girl just hilarious about I can't date a bisexual man. I saw that she did a recent interview on that. But that's good for you. But a lot of what she was saying was deep rooted in, it seemed like homophobia than a real reason why you couldn't date a bisexual man. Just because you're with a man who likes other men don't necessarily mean he's going to cheat on you. Cheating's cheating, regardless of who it comes from. Don't get me to going back to the whole Rita. A lot of y'all don't know who your baby daddies and shit is again. Because I don't need to go back to that. But y'all worrying about whether or not your man's sleeping with other men. I was with you, Ray J, but then you lost me on this part. He said, for me, I want to sponsor the whole Gay Pride Month and do Ray Pride because I want to stamp it and I want to make sure we all come together in unity and live life and not give a F and that money and get money and ball out and everything is good, right? You also encourage people to come out of the closet. But with that, I say people need to come out on their own time when they're ready. It's none of our places to force someone out of the closet because you ready for them to come out. And you know people who are LGBTQ, and you say, it's okay, you can come out, give them a moment. Let them find that time to be who they are. So I don't like that whole, no, we're not trademarking or marketing you with the whole Ray Pride, Gay Pride. No, we're not doing that. Can we have our own shit without y'all always trying to, colonize some shit? Yeah, you need to start hanging out with these goddamn billionaires. So I'm glad you were ally, Ray J. And you know what? This is kind of like the whole comment that we were saying about how you see a lot of R&B singers in this and the other don't want to perform at Pride events. Like we had Tank that performed at a Pride event. And I'm here for the allies. I'm here for y'all performing at our events, but I feel like our events need to focus on ushering in and promoting our artists. There are out artists who are out here doing music for us, and y'all won't give them the platform because y'all so fixated on, let's get Nicki Minaj, let's get Megan Thee Stallion, let's get Little Kim, let's get Tank, let's get this one, let's get that one. But you paying the real artists that are really doing this music for us dust. Shout out to Bryant. You saw him, he an artist too. He's in B-Boy Blues. He was going hard promoting that fucking movie. I feel like he promoted it harder than Jussie Smollett. Because I've been getting all the alerts on how hard he tore. I saw Medino Green, shout out to him. He was promoting it too. And I know like the soundtrack has out artists on. I also heard Queer as Folk got out artists on their soundtrack as well. And that was an idea that I had, that I was like, when I do a show, a scripted series, I'm going to basically, I already know who I got to pull in the music. And we're going to bring all that in. That's another thing I liked about the original Queer as Folk too. It was Babylon. It was that whole idea, because that's the era I grew up in with the circuit parties and the music, that whole circuit music shit. The soundtrack was always the thing when it came to the original Queer as Folk series. And I like how y'all throwing Big Frida and shit up in there because it's Nolan's, but still. So let's talk about Lil Nas X, since we're on the whole out hip hop situation. He is, he came out with a song on Tuesday, about BET. And here's what he said. Here's the hook on the diss track. FBET, 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 lick it up on, lick it on up, slurp it, make it sloppy. Okay, look at how I top-ish. I just put like 3 up in the top 10 and I don't need nobody. I just need these CCs on my body. Everything I do be trying to run, go make a profit, read about it. So, yeah, he has that. And he tweeted recently, we talked about it, we glossed over a little bit. Thank you, BET, and outstanding 0 nominations again, Black excellence. Well, now BET has clapped back and said the following. We love Little Nas X. He was nominated for a Best New Artist BET Award in 2020, and we proudly showcased his extraordinary talent and creativity on the show twice. He performed Old Town Road with Billy Ray Cyrus at BET Awards in 20. Well, yeah, because y'all needed a white person on there, like y'all giving awards out to Jack Harlow without even, batting an eye or breaking a sweat. And his BET Award 2021 performance was a highlight of our show. Y'all got a lot of complaints too from the homophobes. Let's also not gloss over that. No one cheered louder that night than BET. Y'all are full of shit with this post. Y'all really are. Because to me, of all the things that BET could have talked about, this is the one thing y'all felt the energy to clap back on. Oh, we need to address this thing about, because we don't want to be perceived as homophobic. We don't want to be, but let the record show that y'all really don't show love to the LGBTQ community. Yes, y'all jumped on it at the time because Nas was the hottest thing going, and y'all wanted the controversy and this, that, and the other. But the bigger picture, what I was alluding to earlier, is that a lot of y'all do not support and show love to out hip hop artists. You don't usher them in enough. You don't coddle them. You don't embrace them. But y'all so quick to embrace white artists whenever they do black music. And quiet as it's kept, BET ain't even owned by black people anymore. And then I heard some people say, well, Nas is not hip hop. Nas's music is more pop. But so is Doja Cat's. But that didn't stop y'all from the multiple nominations y'all gave her. Now, if we're going to talk, we're going to talk. Let's be fair. So, I don't think this is going to let up anytime soon. Nas is what I'll say to you, like I said about Jennifer Lopez. I feel like if this is all y'all are in for with these awards and accolades and this, that, and the other, that's what y'all in it for, then you're in the wrong business. It should be about the quality of work. It should be about the legacy that you lay down. And that should be your primary focus. Instead of focusing so much on not getting acknowledged by your peers. I know it hurts. I know that's one of the things we want to be able to do, but unfortunately, that's not the way the cookie crumbles. So let's move on from that.
Yeah, fuck BT, fuck BT, fuck BT, yeah, fuck BT, yeah.
I don't think he'll be getting the invite back. Fuck BT. That should be my ringtone, child. So let's talk about Saucy Santana, who got himself in hot water after some old tweets resurfaced of him throwing shade at Beyonce and Blue Ivy. The booty samples the same horns that was sampled on Beyonce's Crazy in Love. At one point, he had some not so nice things to say about Bey and her daughter. He replied, nappy-headed or eyeballs emoji. Another person compared Blue to Kim Kardashian and Kanye West's daughter, Northwest, stating that North was prettier. Just said that yesterday, Santana added. In another tweet, this time about Beyonce's pregnancy glow, Santana said that instead of glowing, Bey looked dry to me. So someone went and posted, bad guy Shay, the way we was all rooting for Santana, especially during Pride Month, come to find out he has tweets bullying a 2-year-old black girl unprovoked about her Afrocentric features, as well as him trying to be funny on Beyonce's pregnancy, and instead of apologizing, he's deflecting. And here's what Material Girl herself had to say. Fake woke ass bitches. People don't care about old tweets. The internet have this weird thing with power, thinking they have the power to cancel someone. Newsflash, you don't. All be thinking y'all have someone by the balls about situations you don't give a damn about. Number one, Saucy Santana got balls, but I digress. Taking to Twitter, Santana called out, as we said, fake ass bitches, fake woke ass bitches. And I already read all that. He says, stop all that cap. Trying to ruin people's careers because you at home miserable and broke. I was miserable and broke too, making childish, hateful tweets in 2014. I'm 28 years old, a grown-ass adult, a completely different mindset on life from when I was 20, but y'all knew that. It'd be the people in the comments trying to force you to apologize and say sorry. To who? To y'all? If I did something to offend someone, I should apologize to them, not you bitches. Told y'all to go, told y'all think got child. I can't. You so damn country with this. Told y'all think got power over people, but go ahead. That hurt my brain trying to read that part. But here's the thing. Santana is correct in a way where he doesn't have to apologize to a bunch of beehives and a bunch of fans. If it comes down to it, he needs to apologize to Beyonce and Blue Ivy. Another thing is, you don't drag nobody's child into a situation. Blue Ivy ain't do nothing to you. Even if you think that so-and-so child is better looking than another child, you don't talk about that and bring that up on social media. And number 3, I don't feel like because someone says about something about somebody who you're a fan of and you don't know personally, that should deter you from not whether or not you like their music. But I feel like, you know, if you're gonna go and perform in Houston, which is basically Beyonce's city, and you thinking that the Beehive ain't gonna come after your ass, I hope you can handle the smoke that these girls are claiming they're gonna bring to you. That's all I'll say on that. So, shout out to you, Saucy. I feel like this is like a non-issue. It's some old tweets. Y'all talking about Pride Month. Y'all trying to cancel somebody over a comment they made about a child. And don't black people call they kids nappy-headed? Now because you talking about Beyonce child, all of a sudden it's a problem. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother time. But shout out to you, Saucy. So, Da Brat and her wife, Jessica Duty Dupart, appeared on Tamron Hall this past Thursday and discussed their IVF journey and revealed that throughout the process, they both were temporarily hospitalized due to different complications. Judy and Da Brat opened up on their IVF journey. She says, we haven't spoken about it much on social media. We have had some ups and downs on our journey, some complications, but we are still in the process. She, Da Brat, never experienced motherhood, and she is a very caring person. She is the most nurturing person I've ever met in my whole entire life. So I just think that would be great, and anything that I'm able to give her in this lifetime, I will. So then, since you've been through IVF, you can just imagine the journey, the complications. I was hospitalized with blood clots. It's just been a lot, but we're not giving up. We want a baby together, so we want it to be, you know, we want some of me, some of hers. Look, I feel like at this point, if y'all having complications, I know it's a lot of money to spend on IVF and this, that, and the third, but maybe y'all can look at other alternatives, because who wants to keep withstanding that heartbreak of you do the IVF and then you're miscarrying, you're dealing with all the other stuff. I think both Da Brat and Jessica are women of a certain age. You know, after 35, you're considered ancient when it comes to producing a child on your own. You know, they have money and medicines and this, that, and the third, so you're gonna be able to do that. But it becomes harder when, you know, in those type of situations. So I, in so many ways, feel for them in this context. So, you know, good luck on your journey. I'm sure, I'm wondering if they documented this on their upcoming reality show. Because that would be something that I think a lot of women can relate to. Especially trying to, you know, have a baby and all other stuff. And, you know, I like Da Brat. I've always been a fan of hers. And everything she's contributed to hip hop and now media and that sort of thing. So my heart and my, you know, kudos and everything goes out to Da Brat and her wife. And good luck to y'all on that baby journey. So Billy Eichner, which is our next story, is calling out Hollywood and saying that they're hypocrites. So the co-writer of Bros feels queer rom-coms are few and far between because cinematic power players are still not supportive of the LGBT plus community. Saying, Hollywood has often been very accepting on the surface, but very homophobic underneath the surface and very hypocritical, the comedian 43 told Page 6 at the MTV Movie and TV Awards this past Sunday. And a lot of decisions have been made based on fears that I think are often irrational, and yet people were scared, he continued. You know, a lot of it was based around what they think the mainstream audience would or would not accept, and that's pretty infuriating when you think about it. So Agner set his sights on creating a movie that would paint a real, relatable, and eye-opening yet lighthearted picture of what it's like to date in today's day and age as a queer person, saying, I'm happy that we're here, and it's a movie that's really a long time coming. This is what he told Page Six. And I couldn't agree more. Like, unfortunately, it comes out in September. I'm a little upset about that. But, you know, for the most part, I'm really excited to see this film. And I feel like Fire Island, this movie is going to give me what I need in regards of telling real, authentic stories about the queer dating experience and what we as a people deal with in our community without having to deal with all that bullshit that they were trying to put up in Queer as Folk and thinking that that was going to be enough to sustain interest. But it's like, okay, go off with y'all, you know, the shit that y'all want to put up in that show. But anyway, so I'm looking forward to that. I love Fire Island because the Fire Island was talking about discrimination and how people of color are treated when it comes to being in certain spaces with white gays. So I did like how they dealt with that story and the representation in that department. So I love that we're getting so many more diverse stories. I'm living for the fact that the gays are taking over the rom-com. I'm really hoping that we get to see more representation in regards of different genres. Like we need queer horror, more queer science fiction. We need, you know, so many of the genres that a lot of gay people, like queer people, definitely have a more relatability when it comes to horror films and that whole world. So we definitely need a lot more of that. And I'm really looking forward to this. I'm glad that he's calling out Hollywood because, yeah, they are hypocritical. It's sort of like they look at it as like, well, if we're going to do these type of stories, it needs to be in a way where it's not so scary for straight people. But we're not making these movies for y'all. And that's what people need to understand. It's the same thing when it comes to telling stories about people of color. We're not making these stories for you. This story is a show that we want to be represented by Hollywood. We want to see ourselves on the big screen. We want to see ourselves on the small screen. We want to be represented. So that's what matters. It's not about if you white folks want to come along, if you straight people want to come along for the ride and see what our world is like, dip your toe in and take a peek behind the curtain, you're welcome for that. But everything ain't for y'all. It's not. So, and people need to understand, and vice versa. There's a lot of things that's not for us either. We've always been that part and resilient in that way. When y'all don't accept us, we create our own lane. That don't mean y'all need to come over us. Y'all had the opportunity to create shit for us. You didn't want to. So we had to create our own thing. So shout out to him on that. I know we're not gonna have time to talk about the Alyssa Edwards clapping back at the bill, trying to ban kids from drag shows. So we're going to save that for next week. But we're going to close out the show with, because we're running on time. It's the first time we ran out of time doing the show. But, you know, we had to talk about that Saucy thing. But let's talk about Dwayne Wade and him talking about his daughter, Zaya. So while chatting during a recent interview about lawmakers passing discriminatory anti-trans sports bans across the U.S., which Miss Boosie had a lot to say about on Vlad TV. I'm waiting for that old blue-black heifer to come out of the closet because you're worrying too damn much about what's going on here over here with us. Now, Dwayne called the legislation a joke and challenged the lawmakers to live a day as his daughter, Zaya, the three-time NBA champion, went on to say this. As blessed it is for my daughter to have parents who can support her, I'm still afraid every moment she leaves the house, and not because of gun violence, but because of the way people perceive her in the world. He continued by saying this. It doesn't make sense to me. It's like everything that like we're in this stage, in this world right now, where we're learning information on social media. We can find everything we want to know about life. Our kids can go out and find all these things. But then there's this, hey, don't talk about this in school. Don't do this in school. Why are we not talking about it? Why are we not educating our kids? Why are we not educating ourselves instead of trying to close the book on it? He also added by saying, you can't close the book on what somebody wants and how they feel. We're not going to close the book on anyone being gay, bisexual, transgender. We can't close the book on that. And he's 100,000% right with that. And you know, I'm actually glad that that he and Gabrielle have been very vocal and open about their child, and we're seeing the presence of a young Black family speaking on behalf of a Black trans child, because y'all try to act like that being LGBT is a white man's disease, and then a lot of us don't exist. So Dwayne, keep on keeping on with your fight and speaking out on behalf of Zaya. And I know a lot of people get mad when they post stuff about her on social media, but she is just as, I'm sure they had to get her permission to have all this stuff out there and all that stuff. So shout out to y'all, and I love what y'all doing, especially during Pride Month and beyond. So on that note, we're going to wrap the show. It's the end of an era. Well, just the end of this episode. Just trying to be funny. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in and watching the show and all that good stuff. And please click like, subscribe, leave your comments, all that good stuff. And we'll be back next week with a brand new episode of Kris Avalon Unfiltered. So yeah, follow us with my handles and everything. You can find me on social media. Where you keep updated on everything I'm doing and all this good stuff. So love you all for watching. Until next time, ciao, darlings.
Yeah, fuck BT, fuck BT, fuck BT. Yeah, fuck BT. Yeah.
Unfiltered, filtered, filtered, filtered.